As you know, the immigration is a hot topic for past few years, even past several years. And every single day we hear some news about immigration and about illegal immigrants and legal immigrants and how we can solve this problem. Well, I'm going to give you my point of view, not only on this video, but in next few videos. This is going to be probably 2, 3 videos on this topic. And I'm gonna look at it from a different lens. Why? First of all, I am a first generation immigrant to the United States. And I'll tell you why both sides of the aisle sometimes they go extreme and where they get wrong, and then how we can solve this problem probably forever. On this video, I'm going to just mention briefly about my story, which was a very dangerous move. I'm a Kurd from Iran, and I got out of Iran about 6 months after graduating from medical school. And I was married, like early college or early medical school, like the third year of medical school, because in Iran, medical school is 7 years. We go straight to medical school from high school. And I got married. The next year, my son was born. And when we left Iran, my son was 3 years old. And I'll tell you about our story, how we got out of Iran and crossed the border to Turkey and then to Greece. And I'll tell you why we did it. And then we got stuck in an area on the border of Turkey and Greece for 3 days and 3 nights with just one bottle of water and one flat bread that we kept it for our son, the 3-year-old son. And I'll tell you what happened and how we got attacked by wolves and how we survived. And then we got deported back to Turkey and how we finally submitted our case to UN, and then later on we got accepted as refugees to the great United States of America. However, the point here is many leaders of the United States, maybe they had the same point of view as the President Trump for past few years talking about, but for some reason, my dear fellow Americans, they tend to forget about what happened, or they don't know at all. I talked to some people and they have no idea. But because I came here during President Clinton presidency, in 1996 we arrived here, I'll tell you my story and what happened and how we can solve this problem. By the way, I was a Democrat when I came to the United States. Now I'm independent and I voted for President Trump. Okay, so just let you know that I'm independent. In many areas, I think like a true liberal, not the what here in the United States they call it liberal. That they are very left, most of them, not all of them. And I had been on both sides of the aisle. I grew up as a Muslim, and I stopped practicing Islam in high school at age 14 when I studied Quran and I knew what's going on. I'm not against Muslims, by the way, but just I want to tell you what happened. And I went from one extreme to another extreme. I became a communist, then socialist, and then many other things. And I studied all the major books. And now I'm in the center. And I understand the argument of both sides. And I want to come up with a real solution for the immigration. It's very interesting to me that people, most people at least on the left, they attack the President Trump's policy about the illegal immigration. I want to give you my point of view about immigration because this is a different lens to look at it. And I'll tell you why I mostly agree with the President Trump's policy. Don't get mad if you are a Democrat or you are on the left side. I was on the left side also. And I was on the right side sometime. Okay? But now I'm in the middle. I'm in the center. And I look at it from a different lens. And from the lens of the leadership. Because the leadership lens probably is a little bit different. But before continuing with our discussion, let's listen to the State of the Union in 1995 by President Clinton. And then after that, we're going to listen to a short video from Hillary Clinton in 2008, and then we continue our discussion. Then I want to keep this video actually as short as possible. If you like this idea, if you like this video, if you think you get some information out of this, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This is my new channel. And share it with your friends and family members and people in your community. And you can comment on this video. I'll try to respond to as many comments as I can. And if you like it, go ahead, like it also. So let's listen to President Clinton in 1995, what he said about immigration, and then to Hillary Clinton in 2008. And then I'll continue the discussion for a few minutes and the rest of my story for next videos. Good? Agree? Let's do it.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the Commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English. And you have to wait in line.
Okay, what do you think? After listening to President Clinton in 1995 and Hillary Clinton in 2008, when you listen to them, you think you are listening to different versions of President Trump, right? About immigration. It's very interesting how the leaders of the United States, they changed their point of view. However, I don't think President Trump actually changed his point of view. Maybe a little bit, but not much. Not like all the way from left to right or right to left or something like that. That's very interesting. Now, let's look at some data about immigration and about illegal immigrants and what happened to them during the presidency of different presidents. And then maybe on the next video, I'll continue with my story and what happened to us, a family of three. I came with my wife, which now is ex-wife, and my son, 3 years old son. When we arrived to the United States, actually, he was 4. And what happened, how we got here, that's very interesting. So let's see some data about immigration policies, about deportation, and that is different from president to president. And then I'll continue the discussion. Okay, let's look at some numbers that I got help from AI to help me to get a reliable reference, because on Google sometimes you can find these numbers, sometimes not. Probably you've heard that President Obama was called the chief of deportation or chief in deportation because he deported a total of more than 5 million. Sometimes you can find 3.7, but the total, it depends on if they call it removal or returns. The total that I found, it was over 5 million. However, President Clinton actually deported much more than President Obama. The total of 12.3 million, as you see on these statistics from the Migration Policy Institute. And CNN reported from the same reference, and also Washington Post reported probably from the same reference. So the point is, different presidents at different times, they have probably, or they share the same point of view about illegal immigrants. However, when it comes to the time of election or who's in power, they change their policies, they change their point of view. And unfortunately, my fellow Americans, they tend to forget. Just I wanted to remind you what happened and how that immigration policy by President Clinton affected my life and affected my immigration. Even we were ready to fly to United States legally, and everything was done legally. On the next video, I'll share with you what happened exactly, and I'll share with you the story, how we got out of Iran and what happened, how we survived the Wolves attack and such, and how we survived in Turkey for 1 year until we came to the United States, and how we arrived to the United States, and what was the cultural shock when we arrived here. I'll share with you those stories. Please go ahead, subscribe to my channel, and please go ahead, share it with your friends and family members. And if you get something out of these videos, please go ahead, like it. On the next video or videos, I'll talk to you about my book that I am writing, In Pursuit of Freedom. That I'll take a look to different things in the society from the lens of leadership, because this is what I do. I speak on leadership and I coach leaders, and that would be very helpful to me actually if you share these videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next video.